This is the first of 3 videos that I'm going to do for Cricut. They reached out to me and asked me if I would mind doing a couple videos based around the most frequently asked questions about the Cricut machine. And since I've now done 2 videos on Cricut, I jumped at this chance because if they're the most frequently asked questions, guess what? I got the same questions. So this video is on one of those questions, and that is, what is a Cricut? This is a Cricut. More specifically, this machine is called the Cricut Joy. It is the smallest of the machines that they offer, but there is a lot that it can do, which I will be covering in the next 2 videos. So what you need to know for now is that this machine uses either a knife, a tiny cutting blade, this little guy here, or a pen, which goes into the same housing. And it cuts or it draws, depending on what you want it to do. A good example of those 2 things in one is something that the Cricut Joy specifically does, and that is it makes cards. You can either get the specific box set, which comes with the card, this little insert that goes behind, and envelopes, or you can even make your own. For this particular one, it uses the pen to draw the design, and then it uses the knife to do the cutouts, including these 4 corners so that the insert can fit inside it. The thing that's so great about this particular design is that the Cricut Joy has a specific mat which is made for making cards. That means not only the outside front of the card, but also the inside. So if you have really terrible handwriting like I do, this is the one for you. It might seem a little confusing that this machine does so much because, as you can see, there are not even any buttons on it, which is something that I like. There's nothing to get confused about. It actually comes with its own particular program. It's the Cricut Design Space. And if you've ever used any sort of software to change sizes, write out things, it gets a little confusing. This is actually very intuitive. This machine and its software is meant for someone who has never done this before. When I got this Cricut, I had a video to put out on it, and I had no idea what I was doing. And I still have no idea what I'm doing, but that's more my fault than anything. Because out of the box, I made this card. And out of the box, I made, after the card, this sticker. I was able to take an image that was made for me by a friend, put it into the design space, and cut it out easily. Which was also exciting because I got to do something fun, which was take my typical black tank top and put the image right on. So while the cards are specific to the Cricut Joy, everything else that you see here and later is not specific to this machine, but can be related to any of the machines, whichever one you have. I most frequently use this in conjunction with the Cricut Easy Press, which, simply put, is a much better version of an iron. It has temperature control, and it also has a timer on it. So if you use the heat guide that Cricut's website provides, you can know exactly how long to use it and at what temperature. And if you don't pay attention to it, you'll end up burning something like I did, so read the heat guide. The combination of these 2 machines allows me to make a lot of different things and try out different things that weren't necessarily meant to be used in this way. One of those is this. This is 2 different ink transfers plus an iron-on because I wanted to have this shiny gold skull be the iron-on part. Something that I'm completely baffled at, I do not understand how it works, it's some sort of wizardry, I swear, and that is the coasters. So you can get a set of coasters from Cricut and use their ink transfer to put designs on them. Now, I looked at this first coaster and I thought, okay, sure, it'll look like you put a sticker on it. Like, I guess that's fun, whatever. So I just cut a circle of this diamond gray pattern ink transfer sheet that I had just to try it out. And I do not understand how it prints underneath the shiny. Like, it's underneath there. That is so cool. How does that work? I don't know. Actually, don't tell me. I prefer to think it's magic. There are a couple different kinds of pens that you can get to use with the Cricut machine. There are the regular ones, just ink pens that fit into the housing, like so. Super easy. Just this little guy here. So you can use the regular pens to draw. You can use some of their felt pens or just these little ballpoint pens, but you can also use their infusible ink pens. And those you can heat press directly onto fabric. So I did this plain white fabric with, well, I only had 3 designs, so I printed one of them twice. But my idea for this is that I'm getting back into embroidery, and when I say back into it, I used to do cross stitch, and I want to get into embroidery. So I thought the easy way for me is to get a bunch of embroidery floss and then go over these templates that I've already made. Just some simple designs that I already know I like. My shoes, origami cranes, and this, which is my family crest. Last but not least for this video, there is a tiny build. And when I say tiny, I don't just mean like I show you a little bit of it. It is a tiny build because I made tables for Gary. I had 2 ideas that I wanted to try out. One was the infusible ink pen so that I could just trace the lines that I heat pressed onto the wood with a wood burner. And that turned out really good. It was very easy and kind of fun because I got to burn the wood. Obviously, I'm not very good at it. As you can see, I'm not very good at it. But I don't care. I like the way it looks. I could spend more time on it, but I kind of like how it's a little bit funky. The second one I did was this one. Actually, I did them at the same time. But the point is, my idea for this one was to use the ink transfer sheets so I could get these big block letters with a little bit of a design in the background. That actually did work. The problem was this. I knew that putting a finish over the ink would cause it to fade and mix a little bit, and I thought, great, it's going to look a little bit weathered. Well, I did a bad job. It weathered a little bit too much. I do still like the way it looks, and in the end it doesn't matter because guess what? This foot fell off anyways. So I'll be remaking that at some point. It still stands though. It's a tripod. It's fine. So that's your basic introduction into what is a Cricut. The next question I'll be answering is, what is the difference between materials? I touched on it a little bit now, but in the next video I'm going to do a lot more with iron-ons and the ink transfers and show you what that's all about. So, you know what to do.